It's been a brisk January here in Philadelphia, and I have a lot of listings that are vacant. And I give my clients who go to Florida, give me their keys and tell you, hey, go sell my house. So I'm doing certain things for them. And we're gonna have snowstorms and freezing temperatures, things you need to do when you go away and leave your home vacant. Now, as real estate consultants for life, we take over this chore for them, but we have the list to make sure we don't have any massive damage to the property, especially if you're under contract. And I've had several times with a seller, lower the heat too low, or pipes froze or whatever, and I learned my lesson. So I've come up with these things you need to do, the 6 things to do with your home to make sure that you don't have ice dams or frozen pipes or roof leaks during the time of selling your home, or during the pending process when you think you're almost at the finish line and end up you have a big catastrophe. You don't want that happening because the stakes are way too high. Okay, so let's get right into it. Make sure you don't have any headaches, okay? And don't forget to like and subscribe, and also comment below. I love comments. So let's talk about pipes. I mean, frozen pipes aren't good at all. It's completely something that could just derail your whole sale, all right? Nightmare scenario. I've had it happen where day of settlement, coldest day of the year, pipes froze. So I learned my lesson, so that's why I say I give you these 6 things we're talking about right now. These vacant homes, no one's living there. Heat gets turned down and then turned low. Or maybe it's not turning, maybe it's turned too low. That's why when we have a vacant property, we visit that property every week. And if there's a homeowner that's next door that they're friendly with, I said, let them come in every day, especially when it gets colder. If there's a snowstorm, make sure the heat is turned on to 65, it doesn't turn off. My last house just sold a couple weeks ago. We went over on our weekly look, and there was some stuff dripping from the heater. Okay, we had to get it fixed. Good thing we checked there. Good thing we're over there every day. She had left into Minnesota to live with her daughter. So no one's living in the house, pipes freeze, there's massive water damage. I've seen it. And it could ruin your walls and your floors and your ceilings. So the worst part, you may not even discover the damage till it's too late, right? That's why I say constant looking at the house and have somebody dropping over there. So how do you protect it? What's the solution here? I'm saying 65, but during some cold things, the sweet spot could be 65. I'm thinking 66, 67, just to make sure. It depends on how old your home is, how old your heater is. And you want to consider also maybe just shutting off the water supply to your home entirely and just draining the pipes. I don't like to do that because we have to put the house back on the market and put it back on again. It depends on how long the time is between when you're going to start this process and you're leaving until when we actually go on the market. It is a hassle, draining the pipes and all that, but it's less of a hassle than having a flooded home or any insurance claims you could have. But with a good realtor or a good team behind you, you can make sure that doesn't happen. So what's the tip? I just said we monitor it daily, make sure the sensors are there. I would say invest in an eco thing. I have an eco thing in my house, or Nest, Google Nest. Invest in one of those. It tells you immediately if your heater's off, okay? And it goes off Bluetooth, so don't turn your internet off for a vacant home. There's a charge you should definitely keep on your credit card or whatever. And also invest in a Bluetooth type of a system that you can check on it. And finally, if you got outdoor pipe plumbing too, make sure you disconnect your hoses, insulate any exposed pipes, so to prevent the cold from creeping in. And if you're having a really bad winter, make sure you check the insulation around your home's water lines. Simple step, but it really is one can prevent frozen pipes from really giving you some agita, okay? Next, protect your roof. I mean, if your roof's not in great shape, you need to be thinking about how to protect it. Your roof is actually your first line of defense, right? That's where it comes in. So if it's not maintained, snow, ice, water, trust me, it's not a good look when you're trying to sell a house and you have these leaking, and then you have to invest in a new roof. Inspect your roof. Look for cracked and missing shingles. That's why we do a pre-home inspection before you leave, to make sure there's nothing wrong with your roof. Because snow and ice on it, it's just gonna crack your surface. So you can go up in your attic before you go, or we can go up there for you. Make sure there's no signs of moisture, and that's what the home inspector needs to do. But the time between the home inspector comes and then you're actually going on the market, there could be time where it could be snowing or a big windstorm or rainstorm, and then you have leaks in your attic. So like I said, go in your attic. Make sure it's properly insulated, right? You don't want any ice dams. It happens when the warm air leaks from your attic, causing snow on your roof to melt. And then the melted water, then it kind of refreezes at the edges of your roof, and it creates this dam, right, that traps water. So and then it can seep right into your house, and it could damage ceilings, walls, insulation. It's really not a small issue, so you definitely want to make sure that you look at this, because it costs you thousands to fix. Hence, getting a pre-home inspection ahead of time and proper insulation, things like that. And I have a handyman, James, he's awesome. He can seal up any drafts before the cold comes, okay? And that's really good thing. Go up your attic, seal up the drafts, and it will help dealing with any leaking or water damage. Next, we have gutters, right? I mean, you gotta have clean gutters and downspouts. That's the one thing that comes up on every inspection report. If your gutters are clogged with leaves or twigs or, I don't know, whatever else could be there, some debris, it's a huge problem if a snowstorm hits, all right? So we just had a snowstorm here, and I told all my clients, when I knew the snowstorm was coming, I said, gotta clean out the gutters, okay? A lot of them, their gutters were blocked. I said, we gotta do that, because water could build up and freeze. So what I do is, as I'm taking care of these houses, I have my guys go out and start cleaning gutters. I just order it, and they say fine, because they know that clogged gutters are not good. It can block the flow, and water will then seep into the house. Clogged gutters and the water and all that can actually cause the gutters just to fall down. We have more damage, right? So it's really easy just to clean your gutters. There's guys who do it. It's called the gutter guards. You get gutter guards on your house. You got these guys who'll come over to your house on a monthly basis, quarterly basis, whatever it is. Do you know if your gutters look clean? It's really easy to look. You can just see, or we can have somebody actually inspect them for you. You've got to handle this, the gutters. It's very important, okay? And this is especially for a vacant home when no one's really looking out for your home, unless you hire somebody to do it for you. That's what we do when we're in the process of selling a house. Next, keeping the temperature up. I've talked about that a little bit already. You've got to heat it, the house, Keeping it warm during the winter. It's not just for comfort, for when people are actually coming in and looking at the house, or prospective buyers when they come back to do inspections. It's to keep your home from having any particular leaks and things like that. What it does, I find when you put the heat around 68, 69, the buyers, especially when they're doing showings, they don't feel like the house has been abandoned, especially if all the furniture is gone. And don't worry about the high heating bills. A programmable thermostat, I mentioned that earlier. Get one of those Ecobees, get an Nest, that you can lower the temperature on demand with your cell phone, okay? But not below 50. Make sure we're in the right area here, especially if it's doing showings. We can then put the heat up during showings and down when we don't have showings. It's very simple, okay? And like I said, if you're going to be away a long time and maybe your house isn't on the market yet, you don't have your realtor, just have somebody come over and take a look at the house, insulating the pipes like I talked about, things like that. In the long run, it's going to save you a lot of money. Next, we have driveways, walkways. Oh my gosh, we had 17 homes. It snowed. Our snow guys were out there, shoveling snow because all of our clients needed it. So in the nitty-gritty of winter, it's going to happen. The snowstorm hits. The last thing you want to do is have your front yard covered in ice, an overgrown driveway, snow-covered porch. It just screams neglect, and people will think nobody's living there, and that's not good for these squatters are out there just taking over some houses. So make sure, especially for a vacant home, I say get cameras. There's a Ring. We have it plugged in all of our sockets. All you do is plug it in, and you can see what's going on in your house at all times. And if you don't have the Ring, I, as your realtor, will put one in your house for you, because I want to know what's going on in my listing, because I'm in charge. So make sure we have somebody on track to get these walkways and everything cleaned off with the snow. Make sure it feels well cared for, so nobody is going to come in and think that you're not living there. So we know it's going to snow. Everyone knows when it's going to snow, right? So we can get salt out there ahead of time, especially for showings. You have to make sure it's an insurance issue. You don't want potential buyers to feel safe, right? And feel comfortable visiting your property, even if it's the worst of the winter. Even when that snowstorm, we had people looking at houses. It was crazy here. The market is absolutely nutso in Pennsylvania, right here in Philadelphia area, all right? So hire a snow removal service. I have one for you if you need one. Make sure all winter it's maintained if you're not going to be around, okay? Give potential buyers an impression the property is being properly cared for, that you have some type of service, and they feel much comfortable. Matter of fact, the one listing I had where it just snowed, we had somebody over there right away, and we had an open house, and we had offers right away. And the agent at the open house said the buyers were very overjoyed. They didn't have to put their snow boots on and climb through the house. And they said a lot of the houses were like that. That's good. How about dead branches? Trim, and you gotta trim these dead branches, okay? So don't forget about the trees, because snowstorms, what they do is they weaken the branches, they snap, and they have twigs all over the place. So you have to make sure that we take care of that. You have a landscaper come if it's vacant on a consistent basis, because it also damages the roof, windows, power lines, could leave your house without electricity or heating. That's why, hence, these cameras, Ring cameras, and you keep your internet on. It's not a big expense at all. So before a storm, take a look. Look around. Are there any dead branches? Do they need to be trimmed back? So I always say do that in the fall, so you know that's going to happen in the winter, especially if you're not going to be around. You don't want a costly accident to happen. So the weather's been particularly harsh in your area. Make sure these trees are inspect your trees, okay? So that's some good tips there for a vacant home. Make sure you have your realtor monitoring it with their people coming in on a consistent basis. Get that Echo Bee and the Ring camera. Your home should be on your site at all time. Now, if you don't want to do that, I actually have a Ring camera for my house, and I have it for like 7 houses, all connected to the same account. So I'm watching my clients' houses all the time. So just prepare your property. Just avoid costly repairs, prevent the damage, and just maintain your property's appeal. And if you liked what you heard, hit the like and subscribe. It's the Real Deal Real Estate channel here, practical advice, protecting your investment. Stay proactive, stay safe, okay? And if you're looking for a realtor here, I'm a top producing realtor here in the Philadelphia area, and I love selling real estate. I hope I can help you, or some of you know, because you know what? I just referred 85 people all around the country this past year to realtors, and they all had a great experience. See you on the next one.